Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
You know, it's so fun to have you on here, and obviously, you know, with the incredible catalog that the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band has, but you got a new album that just came out this May, Dirt Does Dylan, and listening to this album, you guys really put the dirt flavor to these songs in this whole album.
Well, that was the whole point. I mean, if you're going to cover someone else's songs, you got to at least, you know, try to slip into that thing and make it feel like you're wearing your jacket, you know. And with Bob Dylan, actually the material really suited us, and I'm really grateful for that. He's one of our favorite writers of all time.
Well, you know, I was kind of amazed at the selection in songs. I got to bring this up too. Some incredible guests that you have on this album, such as Larkin Poe, you know, Steve Earle, The War and Treaty, Rosanne Cash, Jason Isbell. Just wow. I mean, you know, not bad having those kind of artists join you on an album like this.
Well, I mean, they're all friends of ours, and I appreciate it. I'm really grateful that they showed up to sing and play. I mean, they're all incredible. And when we start with Larkin Poe, who are, they're actually, you know, kind of, their day job is they're kind of a slam and blues rock duo. The Lovell sisters, Rebecca and Megan Lovell, and they're terrific. Megan plays slide guitar on this record, lap steel, and they both sang on I Shall Be Released on that track.
Which sounds great. I love the track. That's probably one of my favorites, along with Country Pie, and you know, and also with Rosanne Cash. To me, what I thought, Jeff, listening to this album, which I think is going to be huge, I can't wait to see you guys do this live on the road, is that the songs are still so poignant today, even though Bob Dylan recorded them years ago originally. They
are. They're timely. I mean, times are changing, for example, with which has Jason and Rosanne and Steve and the Warren Treaty, Michael and Tanya Trotter. When his album, well, Times Are Changing, came out in I think it was 64, I believe. The first time I saw him live, I was in high school. And I saw him, I just dated myself.
I was going to bring that up, Jeff, because you had to pay a whopping $4 for the ticket, I think, to see him at your high school auditorium.
I think it was $350 in advance, $450 at the door. My little girlfriend and a couple of my buddies to see him. We sat in the auditorium at Wilson High School in Long Beach, California, and saw Bob, just an acoustic guitar and a harmonica rack, the classic Bob Dylan setup, you know.
Well, it's kind of interesting, too, with the evolution of you and the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band to where then the band started as a jug band around 1966, right?
Yep, in Long Beach. We were just fresh out of high school, barely. I mean, I was going to college and I made it through one semester. And then I was on, you know, what do they call it? I was flunking my tests. So I was on probation, basically. Oh. I mean, I was just spending too much time playing hooky and playing music.
Right.
But by the time it came to time to take my finals in my second semester, the Dirt Band had already started. I didn't even show up. I'm not recommending that. You know, I insisted my son go to college, and I'm glad he did. But then he became a musician. It didn't matter anymore.
I was going to mention, because, I mean, he's part of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band now also.
Yeah, Jamie is a really, really great musician, great songwriter, singer, all of the above, fine guitarist. And I'm really happy to have him alongside of me on stage now. It's terrific.
Well, and I got to bring this up too, because I remember when in 1971, you guys came out with Mr. Bojangles. And you know, and a lot of the stuff that the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band did, you guys were always able, I think more than any other band probably, to cross genres and styles of music to where you could, you know, like Fishing in the Dark, and, you know, you had your country hits, and that's like, and now kind of, you guys were the predecessors of Americana music, really.
That's true. And I think that when I listen to albums like Uncle Charlie, which had Mr. Bojangles on it, it sounds to me like an Americana record. Well, for lack of it, you know, we have to make these, you know, we have to use these genres. There were no genres when we started playing back in my day. It was all just rock and roll. So, in fact, Mr. Bojangles was a pop hit. It wasn't on the country charts. Now it would be a country record, I think.
Right.
But
And still an incredible song. 'Cause I remember learning that as a early guitar player, to where it was one of the catalog songs, kind of like John Denver songs, that you had to learn. You know, you had to learn, you know, Mr. Bojangles, some John Denver, some Glenn Campbell, and some Neil Diamond.
Yeah, and you could throw John Prine in there as well. You know? Exactly. Yeah, you're right. It's like, and when people say that to me and they reference our record of Bojangles, you know, the late great Jerry Jeff Walker, of course, right. And what a guy. We became friends for many, many years. We didn't know him before we cut the song. So,
how wild.
No, I know. And just lucky us. Just found the tune. It really found us, actually.
Well, you know, and I got to bring this up too, Jeff. You know, speaking of forging new ground, will the Circle Be Unbroken? When you guys came into Nashville, and obviously you live here with your family, but it's like, did you have any concept when you guys were doing this? And obviously the documentary and everything else, and it spawned 2 more Circle 2, Circle 3 that you've won awards and everything else for. But working with those legends of country music and how much impact that would have on people years later when you were doing Will the Circle Be Unbroken, did you have any concept on that back then?
I mean, I'm going to be honest, speaking for myself, no. I mean, it was the big deal for us was we're making music in the recording. Well, number one, getting to meet Doc Watson, getting to meet Mother Maybelle Carter, getting to meet Bruggs. We actually knew Merle Travis, but Jimmy Martin, we didn't know Jimmy, we didn't know Vassar Clements, all these amazing folks. The great Norman Blake also played on that record. Yeah. Roy Acuff, sorry, I can't forget Roy Acuff. No. What an incredible experience for us as kids. Our average age was 24 when we made it. So, and we did it all in 6 days, all recorded live in East Nashville over at Woodland Sound Studios, which is there still, thank goodness. Thank you, Gillian Welsh and Dave Rawlings, who really kept that alive. Right. Yeah, but years later, we've kind of been the recipient of a lot of goodwill from folks over the years saying, you know, that was the first country album I ever bought, or that was my first real exposure to bluegrass. So we, with a lot of humility, we're just really grateful that we might have helped steer some folks from our generation to the amazing music, to these founding fathers and mothers of this genre.
Well, you know, and watching the documentary and stuff and seeing, you know, the different pieces that have been done on it, Jeff, it's so interesting to me, you know, being a huge music nut and everything too, to where how welcoming the country music artists were to you guys, you know, as the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. And it's just, and then the music is just amazing. I mean, you know, to be able to do something like that here in Nashville, and once again, you know, melding styles of music, and everybody welcomed you guys in.
The thing is that, you know, it's a cliche, but it's a universal language. You know, there might have been what appeared to be differences between this scruffy bunch of long-haired hippies from Southern California and walking into the studio in Nashville with with these amazing founders of country and bluegrass. But no, the thing I think that most of those folks, and Doc Watson as well, I don't want to forget Doc. I think that, again, they knew that we really cared about this music and had great respect and reverence for it. Not just of them as folks, as artists, but also of the history of the music. So when we were kids in Long Beach, that's what we were listening to, not just Bob Dylan, but also, you know, the Carter family and Flatt and Scruggs and Doc Watson, Merle Travis, Jimmy Martin. It was, here we are, man. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of pinch myself. I can't believe, you know, it was like Christmas every day walking in that studio. It was just terrific.
Well, and to capture those moments in time, and you know, and obviously we've lost so many of those artists over the years since that, but it's just to me, it's timeless. And I wanted to bring up also with the new album, Dirt Does Dylan, you guys recorded that here in Nashville as well.
We did, with a great record producer, legendary record producer, Ray Kennedy, in his studio. And a lot of it's live. I mean, the record took a circuitous path to get to us, you know. We went in the studio the first week of March in 2020 and recorded 9 songs.
Wow. And
went out on the road, played our first and last shows of 2020, March 11th and 12th, and then the curtain came down.
Right.
So Ray locked the studio up, you know, we all just kind of, you know, retreated to our corners and waited it out to see what would happen. Later in the year, you know, things looked a little, you know, it's so strange in retrospect, isn't it?
It really is.
But we finally got back in and started working on it. But then even at that point, there are 4 of us that live here in Nashville. But 2 of the guys, 2 of the long haulers, Bob Carpenter and Jimmy Fadden, we've been playing together for many decades. Jimmy and I actually since the beginning. Jimmy lives in Florida and Bob lives in Los Angeles. So wow. Nobody was going anywhere. So I got in the studio with Ray and we ended up co-producing the record, which he graciously, you know, said, let's do this together. I was like, wow, what an opportunity for me as well. We started chipping away and doing a few overdubs, but as I said, so much of it was already done that when 2021 rolled around and we decided we'd go back out on the road, which a lot of folks did. Now, 2022, everybody's touring, I might add, which is kind of great, you know. I mean, we're so happy to be out there again. But in the summer of 21, Bob and Jimmy, the rest of the guys, we all got back in the studio and recorded 2 more songs. Don't Think Twice, It's All Right, and Forever Young. Yep. So that was great. And we you know, zipped it up, finished it up at the end of 21, and here it is, 22, and it's finally seen the light of day.
Where do our viewers need to go for everything Nitty Gritty Dirt Band?
nittygritty.com is pretty simple. That's our website. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Oh yeah, our fans can find us. And the starting point, really, nittygritty.com. All the tour information. You can order the record through them. The vinyl is coming in August, which I'm really excited about.
Excellent.
It's harder than ever to get vinyl. Who knew? You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's back in demand, but I think particularly, you know, listening to these songs, Jeff, with songs like this and with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's catalog in general, I think they kind of lend themselves to vinyl for a deeper listen, for a broader frequency, you know, to hear the songs in, and I think vinyl still brings that.
Well, it does, and I'm a fan of, you know, the whole ritual as a kid. You know, get the record. You know, turn the lights down, listen to side one, turn it over. Very cool. I mean, we still have CDs as well. Just
right.
Little ad there.
Great cover.
The thing, oh yeah, our friend Bob Delavanti, who has a great band called the Delavantis, I might add, with his brother Mike. He designed this. He's done a bunch of work for Oh Boy Records. He's done a lot of work, John Prine stuff.
Oh wow.
He does the Americana Fest posters every year. He's really a talented cat. Glad that he did this for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks incredible. Dirt Does Dylan is out now. Be sure and follow Jeff and the band on the website and on social media. Go see them live in concert. Jeff, Hanna, thank you so much for coming on the Rockin' Review.
Eric, my pleasure, man. Take care of yourself.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.